Ready? We're gonna start off with a joke, which kind of brings up the 90s and the sexy part of the 90s. So, Sam, what does Soda Machine and Monica Lewinsky have in common?
I don't know, Louise.
They both say, insert bill here. We had to bring up blowjobs, which is part of the 90s.
Bill Clinton, I just remember him running on the White House steps to go to McDonald's, and that being a big news story of the day. I remember his saxophone playing. I mean, before he was playing with interns, he was the sax man, and it was great.
I know I'm 21 years old, and I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I kind of miss Lisa Frank and her psychedelic, weird pictures and cartoons. I think
if you didn't have that hot pink or that lime green Lisa Frank accessory, who the hell were you? No one. That's right.
Remember the cartoon characters she would make in these really vibrant neon colors, and they had enormous heads that if they were in real life, there's no way their little bodies could support a massive head that large. Their heads were like 400% more than what their actual bodies were.
Okay, dial-up internet. We have to go there because we were reenacting the sounds this morning,
and you'd be counting
and
down
then
the
your mom would be like, "You're taking up the phone line. Get off. Only 10 minutes. Fax is coming through. Must get off the internet now."
It's the one thing in the 90s that every kid had. If you talk to anybody from my generation, doesn't matter if they like sports or not, everyone had a starter jacket. The starter jacket that had, it didn't matter what team, everyone either had the Chicago Bulls, the Oakland Raiders, or the Dallas Cowboys. Even if they weren't fans of them, it was the half zip up with the big hoodie pocket and you had the humongous logo on the back.
Also, wolf shirts were big. You would go to a different state, obviously not Massachusetts, and they would have all these displays of wolf shirts and different types of wolves and
howling.
Yeah.
Stretchy pants, scrunchies. I had a lot of those, and hair bows. They always match my outfit.
And swishy pants.
Swishy pants.
Yeah, you want to talk about Tamagotchis?
Yeah, we got them for Christmas. And I took really good care of mine. I cried the first time mine died, which was 15 hours later after I got it. And then he wouldn't take care of his. So I had to take care of both, and it felt like I was a parent, and I was too young for that. I had spelling tests to study for.
Oh, Tamagotchis and Furbies. I was not allowed a Furby.
I fucking hated my Furby.
The son of the guy that made a Tamagotchi went to my high school, but I was not allowed a Tamagotchi.
Furbies were so annoying. They just
I wanted
cried.
one
They
so
went,
badly.
and then I would bury mine in my closet. It was supposed to be it was in the darkness, it wouldn't speak, but I don't know, mine didn't really obey the rules. So I would just put it in a box and push it in the back of my closet, and then the batteries died eventually.
Wait, were Tamagotchis the one that you fed? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you had to care of its poop,
It was like a
and if
little
you didn't care of
egg.
its poop, it would die, or there's a poop pebble thing on the screen. My Tamagotchi pooped twice today.
I don't know if you remember Pogs, but I remember Pogs. They were those round little cardboard things that had pictures on them, and they had all kinds of pictures. You could get them with iridescent flowers, you could get them with Power Rangers, which Power Rangers, another awesome 90s thing that I miss dearly.
Also, snap bracelets. Yeah, they could slice your wrist, but it was a good time doing it.
We have to touch on Beanie Babies. They were epic, and I still have mine.
I
They're in
still have
trash
mine,
bags,
too.
and I refuse to throw them away.
We should have sold them, though. There was a time when they were $1,000 for the black cat.
What, really?
Music, of course you have the Spice Girls, but I mean, girl power and all that, that's great, but the Macarena, that's where it's at. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, that's right.
And it was I don't know, you had to do yeah, and I don't know.
To this day, I still really don't know if I'm a bigger NSYNC or Backstreet Boys fan. The rivalry is too big for me to ever be able to really choose one side.
A band that really pops out for that time that I was loved was No Doubt, because I had the biggest crush on Gwen Stefani. Tragic Kingdom has to be one of the best albums ever.
Then there was the Spice Girls, obviously. And I got my first pair of platforms because Jerry wore them all the time. I was a Jerry. No one ever wanted to be Scary Spice. Understandable. It was either Baby or Jerry. Posh kind of came in. No one wanted to be... Who would want to be sporty, honestly? No, don't put that in.
Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit, and that kind of... And Pearl Jam, that coming out. That's what when I think of mid-90s. I mean, because that's when I was starting to grow up, and you're trying to get a name for yourself, be independent. It was that kind of music. It was all about that stuff, too, but...
There were 98 Degrees. Boys to Men actually had... There was only 4 of them, but Boys to Men was pretty good. They had some songs that I used to know when I was 5. Let me think of what other... Oh, there was LFO. One of them recently died, which was sad. I don't know which one. I don't know his name. They weren't big enough.
I pulled up to the house about 7 or 8 and I yelled to the cabbie, yo, home, smuggler later. Looked in my kingdom, I was finally there. Sat on my throne as the Prince of Bel-Air.
So, you know, what I was always confused about was how they were such different ages. So Tommy was a baby, right, and he wore the diaper and he could walk. Angelica was the mean one, and she was like 5 or something. Like, why is she hanging out with an infant? And no one liked Chucky. He was kind of like the loser, and I always kind of wondered how he grew up. Like, who is Chucky now? And then Phil and Lil were the twins. I don't remember anything more about the relationship between them. It always struck me as odd, an odd grouping of characters.
Magic School Bus, that was a big thing in my house because it was educational. My mom liked that. They would fly.
The TV show that I associate most with the 90s and growing up was Legends of the Hidden Temple. That's my clearest 90s memory, is that TV show. And how frustrated I got when they could never put together a Silver Monkey right. It's not that hard, there's like 5 pieces to it.
Oh, so there was Laura and Urkel, right? And they were dating. Or no, Urkel always wanted to date Laura. Urkel carried it. And then one time, he became Urkel...
Stefan Urkel.
Stefan Urkel, yeah. And he was like a stud. And I think that's when he started to become a teenager, and he told the writers, like, you know, I'm actually cool in real life. Can you make me cool on the show? And then the show I think they canceled it after that. It didn't work out.
Well, I feel like every girl wanted to be Topanga because she was gorgeous and had this adorable boyfriend, Corey, and, you know, it was just sort of the epitome of the good group of friends, and they all got into trouble, but they were, like, good people at heart, so kids were amused by it, but their parents didn't mind them watching it either, so I feel like that was a good family show, you know. Everyone looks back on Boy Meets World and it's like, oh, yeah, that was a good show. You know, no one's like, oh, God, that corrupted our generation or something.
I'd love to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they played a huge role in my life in the 90s. Michelangelo, the party dude, he and I definitely connected on a certain level. I think it was my friend Alex on the playground who told me that he reminded me, or rather, Michelangelo reminded him of me. And I was like, that's great because he also reminds me of me. And
maybe Clarissa Explains It All. That's back when Melissa Joan Hart was like a respectable person.
Nickelodeon had this thing with Stick Stickly. And Stick Stickly, you know, he had this jingle that goes, "Write to me, Stick Stickly, P.O. Box 963, New York City, New York State, 10108. You have to remember to laugh at the end or else it's not totally full. But it was cool because it was the first time they brought democracy to elementary schoolers. They let you vote on what reruns they would show. Every other network during the summer kind of just played whatever reruns they wanted, but this time they were letting you choose what Nicktoons you wanted to see. And I just remember that. I know it's not like a current event necessarily worldwide, but I feel like at the elementary school level, that was a huge, you know, impact on us and kind of really set the tone for what democracy is for an elementary school. Oh, you know what was huge? Space Jam. And that song that went along with it.
No, they had a whole other song. It was like, "Welcome to the Space Jam."
Oh yeah.
Show me the money.
Think
Show me the money. Oh, no. Okay. I believe it was, well, for men it was probably Show Me the Money. For women, I'm going to say it was You Had Me at Hello. Or You Complete Me.
It creeped me out, but I wanted to be like, I was coolest thing I saw was Jurassic Park. I remember that was big in the 90s. Because, like, I thought that was so funny that a movie that was all about dinosaurs eating people that scared the crap out of kids. But yet, Jurassic Park marketed all these toys for kids who are like 10 years old, who were too young to go see the movie because it's PG-13, but they could play with the dinosaurs to destroy the world.
Anyone talk about Goosebumps yet? Well, let me tell you, Goosebumps was pretty effing scary.
Yeah.
And
Or,
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Casper, the ghost thing. Please tell me to know what Casper is.
Yes, but it wasn't scary. It was like fun, and then he turned into.
I gotta tell a story.
He
here.
turned into Devin
No,
Sawa at the
gotta
end.
tell a story. This is nothing really to do with the '90s, but it happened to me in the '90s. I had my first sleepover at Brianna Willick's house, and if she sees this on the internet, this is gonna be really weird. But I peed myself during the Casper movie because it was so scary. My first sleepover, and I wasn't allowed to have another sleepover until I was double digits. I peed my sleeping bag because of Casper. So if you tell me that isn't scary, it's terrifying.
It wasn't scary. I like wished I had that little track
No.
in my house that went into the basement, and I could hang out with like the cool ghosts. Except it was
No.
really gross when they ate and it like went through their bodies. You know that scene in the kitchen.
Freaky. Okay, moving on.